Welcome to the Pony.Town locations tier list. This is a tier list of locations in Ponytown, mainly locations that are named by directional signs in the game. However, it excludes ones that are very vague, such as mountains or forest, or even the beach. But it also includes some more recognized by the community that aren't on signs, such as the gay pool. This is made by my friend River, who put this together for me. For some reason, they have duplicates in here. For some reason, every single item on here is on here twice. So I spent the time putting together a slightly modified version of it that has the copies and a new version of the tier list that just says dupes. So everything right here that's underneath pinned images here, that is all duplicates of what's in this list right here. We're going to be moving them and putting them in different locations throughout the video and ranking them from prime territory, which is the best location. It is a must go to, it is a must visit, it is a must to Wastelands, which are some of the worst places in the game. And then, of course, everything in between, such as go to, decent location, and sketchy spots. So let's start off by filling in some of the Wasteland, because honestly, the Wasteland is a little bit easy to fill in. First of all, we have things like this bunny pin, or the flower pin, or the flower area, whatever you want to call it. The flower prison. Let's call it the flower prison. The flower prison, the different pumpkin patches, the carrot farm, and this like fort area with a stone area in it, and then like this area that's like a graveyard sometimes. These are all kind of just wastelands. There's no real reason to visit these locations. Maybe you could argue you could visit the flower area for flowers, but otherwise, this area, these like 6 areas here are just useless. They're terrible. They're not super great. It's like whatever. Who cares about them? They're not great. They've been terrible since they've been added, and they have never updated them for some reason, and it's really annoying. On that same vein, we can throw in the swimming pool too, because it's not changed since it's been added, and honestly, it doesn't look like a swimming pool, but it very obviously is meant to be a swimming pool. It's crazy to me that this is even still in the game. They should either remove it or make it look better, and I really don't know why they haven't gone back and updated it. Hopefully this summer they will. Oh my gosh, if they do, that would be awesome. However, that is a Wasteland location. Now, moving on from Wasteland to Prime Territory, I think there's a couple that we can say right off the bat. First of all, we have the gay pool. I mean, I don't think I have to say much about the gay pool to tell you that it's prime territory. Not only did it get better when they added the campsite, because they added these like lanterns here floating above it on the wires there. They added like the blanket and the pillows there for you to hang out at and everything like that. It's just a great location now. They even added clovers in there, and I don't think there used to be before that update. But honestly, the gay pool is great, and it's just gotten better over time, and maybe it'll get even better in the future. I think the library is also another prime territory, and I could be biased on both of these, to be fair, but the library is great. It's kind of goofy because like the little flower bed there on the left of it, like they have like experimental flowers and experimental plants and stuff like that. It's really funny and goofy. I really hope they include new ones of that in the future, but for now, this is a great location. The outside of it is great. The area around outside is great. The building itself looks great from the outside. When you're actually inside, everything is beautiful. There's books everywhere. There's like a school area. People have wanted that forever. There's great locations inside as well as outside, and it's got to be in prime territory. This is a must visit. Now, moving back down a little bit to sketchy spots, there's a couple that we can say right off the bat, such as the docks, or the harbor as it's technically called in the game. The harbor is technically, and so same with spawn. These are locations that are just not super great in the game. They're kind of basic. The spawn, for example, is really basic. It doesn't need to be extravagant by any means, but it is very basic. And additionally, there's usually a lot of discourse being yelled at spawn and at docks or harbor, or however you want to say it. These two locations are very controversial in a way, because there's usually a lot of controversial people there. And if you're playing on the safe server, there's just too many people at the harbor. It's impossible to enjoy. I think Prime Territory, Party Island is a prime territory location, not because the boat is cool and it's kind of hard to say because it's depicted by the party boat and everything like that, but the actual Party Island itself is prime territory because you can make it whatever you want. You could make a copy of the gay pool here, and so for that reason, the Party Island has to be in the prime territory. Next up, for some decent locations and some go-to spots, I think we can say this one here. It's kind of like a small island. It's got the bridge there next to it, and it's an island surrounded by some stuff. It's kind of in the bottom right corner of the map. I honestly think it's pretty decent. I think we can actually put that in decent instead of go-to. It's a really nice location. It's beautiful, and there's not too much special, however, so it can't be put too much above decent. So for that reason, it's going to go in decent. And we're going to also put the bridge here in decent locale as well. The oh wow, I've messed up here somewhere. I've started putting I've started taking them from the wrong spot. Goodness gracious. But I think we can also put the bridge up here in decent location. It's technically a separate bridge than the one that's connected to this little island here, but it's kind of nice. I really like the bridge. It could be improved, and honestly, I think they should go back someday and improve the bridges in this game. Maybe even improve like the harbor and the docks and things like that across the map and stuff like that. But this is cool. It's got a little bit of history to it. There was a couple of times, probably only one time before in the past, where there was a bug where the collider got removed from the bridge somehow, so you could swim inside the bridge. That was a fun time. It's got a fun history to it. It's a really nice location. It connects different islands together kind of in a way, because you can go across the river and everything. And I think it has a lot of potential for the future, and so for that reason, decent locale. Since we put the other docks here, we should probably put the other docks here. Since we put the main harbor here, we should put the other dock here as well, I guess. The one that's on the bottom of the half of the map. It's kind of sketchy. It doesn't necessarily look super great, and honestly, it's just whatever. It's kind of a place you'd go to pass. You don't necessarily hang out here, if that makes sense. So, sketchy spot. Now, let's say that the campsite is in prime territory. I think the campsite deserves to be in prime territory. It's beautiful. It's amazing. They got several different tents there. The only problem I have with this section of the map is that it's always super crowded. There's always so many people at the campsite that it's insane, and it can get kind of annoying because of how many people are usually there. However, if there was less people there, or if you're just passing through, or you need to do something really quick in this area, it could be pretty fun. It's a really nice location, and it's right next to the gate pool, so it's prime territory in my opinion. Now let's take a look at the other campsites, or the other locations that have like the campfire there and the logs and everything like that. This one's in the top left corner of the map, and honestly, I think it's a go-to spot. It's not necessarily prime territory because it's not as crazy or as cool as like the gay pool or the other main campsite, but it is still really nice. It's a beautiful area, especially during like, I think summer it is, where all the roses in that area bloom and everything like that. It's just really beautiful. It's kind of secluded, so it's not as crazy as the campsite, so it's a go-to location. Now, however, that being said, the other campsite I think is more of a decent location. It's near the bottom of the map. It's on the beach, and it's kind of nice and everything like that. It's kind of set up basically the same way. However, I don't think the area around it is as nice as the other one that we just put in go-to spot. So I think it should go to decent because it's technically a little bit lesser than the other campfire. Going back to go-to spots, the marketplace is a go-to spot. Let's be real here, chat. This is insane. This is a literal go-to spot. It's not prime territory in a way, where maybe it kind of is in a way, but I think it's a real go-to spot. A lot of the buildings, or at least most of the buildings here, look really decent, and you can find almost anything you want in the game here in this location. You can find everything from tools to flowers year-round to different foods to different light sources, all kinds of stuff here. It's really nice. It's just a really good location. The marketplace is really cool. There's a lot you can do here. It's usually a little busy-ish. It's usually not too busy, and it's just a great location in general. Now let's take a look at some other buildings like the bakery. I think the bakery is kind of just a decent location, not necessarily a go-to spot. The bakery is really nice and pretty on the outside. I'm not too big of a fan of like the patio or outdoor eating area that they have. It's not necessarily my favorite. I just don't think it looks as good as it could. Honestly though, it's kind of hard to really make that area look good in my opinion, but the inside is also pretty good. However, I'm not really a big fan of the bakery. Honestly, I remember when the bakery was first added and I thought it's kind of neat or whatever else like that, but even when it was first added, I wasn't really necessarily a huge fan of it, and I don't think I am a huge fan of it now, especially since we got things like the library and the campsite. I just don't really like it too much. It's always super crowded, and I really don't know what else to say about this other than I'm just not a huge fan. However, it is still a pretty good location, and so decent locale it goes. Speaking of patios and outdoor seatings, I think the actual patio area, I think it's called a patio if I'm not mistaken in the signs, but it's the little outdoor eating seating area over there on the far left corner of the map. It's not even in the corner, it's kind of on the middle left side of the map. It's kind of a nice place. It's just, I never really see people here, or if I do, it's like one or two people. It kind of usually, in my opinion, feels like it serves as more of a meeting spot because I usually don't see people here that often. Now, again, it's probably different in like the safe server or something like that, but on the 18+ server, I hardly ever see anybody here. It's kind of nice though. It's got like, it's fenced in and everything like that. It's kind of a nice little hangout spot. I honestly think though that it had a little bit more potential. They could have put something like a stage here or something like that. That would have been really awesome. There's some stuff here that they could have done that I think would have made this a better location, maybe a decent location or a must go to or something like that. But how it is right now, it's kind of just basic, and it's always felt like a very random place in my opinion. It's always felt very random to just be here. Like, what is it doing here? What purpose does it serve? I have no idea. And I hate to say it, but I think the island, the Pegasus Island, or whatever you want to call it out there in the middle of the lake, is kind of a wasteland location because it's just kind of an island in the middle of the lake. It's really not super special, and if you think about it, during Halloween, they put a gravestone right at the bottom of the lake, implying that maybe somebody died here and that little area is a memorial for somebody that drowned in this place. And so it's kind of sketchy in a way, but it's just not good at all, in my opinion. It's really just not that great. It's just an island with a tree on it, and that's basically it. Nothing special. Let's move on. And move on to more water, this little island area. I think this is kind of also kind of a wasteland area. It's nice, it has some lore, and so for the lore reasons, I think I'm gonna put it in sketchy spot instead of wasteland, because it's like a shipwreck, right? There's like pieces of a ship here, there's like a treasure chest there, or like a lockbox or whatever you want to call it. There's like a tiny island there, a lot of the water there is shallow. It can be kind of a good area, but it's not really that decent, and so it goes in sketchy spot. I hate to say it because I really feel like it's closer to a decent, but I think the ruins in the bottom of the map is a really good spot. I think it's as good as like the campfire place that we put in here earlier. I think it's really good as that because it doesn't necessarily offer you anything. It doesn't necessarily do anything special for you, but it is really cool and it implies some interesting lore that there used to be a building here or something special, right? Because it is ruins of something. There's also a lot of clover spots here too, so you might be going here often if you're looking for clovers and things like that. Maybe if there was something to do down here, it could go into prime territory, but like right now, it's just kind of basic. It's just kind of cool. I have always thought it was a little bit of a cool area. Now, it's gonna be kind of weird, but I think the mines are kind of more of a sketchy spot than they are a wasteland. Now, the inside of the caves it's basically a wasteland. And the reason why I want to say it's a wasteland is because there's nothing here. It's mostly empty. It's stayed the same forever. However, the inside isn't that bad. I don't think it's as bad as like the pumpkin patch or the carrot farm or even like these little forts here or whatever you want to call those. So for that reason, we're putting it in sketchy spot because it does have some value and it is still better than the pumpkin patches and the swimming pool and things like that because it's a whole new map. There's a big area here. There's something you can do here, but it's just not as good. It's really just not a great location. They should definitely update it, but how it is right now is sort of whatever. I don't care. It's sort of a whatever kind of spot, if that makes sense. Now, I'm gonna say, and this might sound strange too, but I'm gonna put the gift piles, one of them is missing for some reason. I really don't know why. There is 3 gift piles on the map, but we're gonna put the gift piles in the wasteland because they added a feature a long time ago that made these locations obsolete. There's no reason to visit the gift piles on the main map anymore. There's literally 0 reason to do it because you can equip toys or interact with the toys that you've unlocked from anywhere on the map. You can do it from your party island, you can do it from the library, you can do it from the marketplace, you can do it from literally anywhere, no matter where you are. All you have to do is click the gear icon on the top right and then hit select toy, and you can just select a toy. That's literally what the gift piles were created for, is so that you can select toys and stuff like that. They no longer have a purpose. I would honestly not be surprised if they remove these or replace them with something better because they're just useless now. So for that reason, they have to go in Wasteland because they're literally useless spots. They're taking up area for no reason. This might feel a little bit strange too, but I think I'm gonna put this ritual circle or this like rock circle area with the clovers inside of it in kind of a decent locale. Not go-to or prime territory. I think it's kind of probably more in between decent and sketchy spot. And the reason why I say it is because I find 4-leaf clovers here all the time. I don't know what it is, but it just feels like 4-leaf clovers spawn here way more than anywhere else on the map. I have no idea what it is, but almost every time I pass through here, I see a 4-leaf clover here. There's also a bunch of 4-leaf clovers right next to it, such as this location right here that has the little lake here, these little 2 lakes right here. There's a lot of 4-leaf clovers here. This whole little section of the map, I like to call it the park, to be honest with you, because it's got a bunch of trees, some lakes. It even has some picnic blankets and stuff like that. And so I think all 3 of these locations are more or less kind of the same area. And so I'm going to put all 3 of them in decent locale. It's just a really cool place. I've always thought it was beautiful in that section of the map. There's a bunch of 4-leaf clovers. So again, if you're looking for leaf clovers, you're going to be going here a lot. And so for that reason, it's kind of decent. It's not necessarily sketchy, and it's not a go-to spot or prime territory, but it's beautiful nonetheless. And I think it definitely deserves a spot there. The next 2 and the last 2 are a little bit hard for me to decide, to be honest with you. I think that this like little fountain-ish area is kind of a decent spot. I think it's probably in between sketchy and decent. I think it could be way better. It should be, if it really is meant to be a fountain, I think it should be a literal fountain. Like they should make a fountain sprite or something like that and just put it here, or maybe put that fountain sprite somewhere else or something like that. But either way, it's kind of a weird location. I think it's something that almost, it almost looks like it serves as a placeholder for a proper fountain or something like that, where it has like benches where you can sit all the way around it, and then the fountain itself is big and it's shooting off water or something like that. That would be really cool. And so for the potential of it and the fact that it is kind of beautiful, even though it's kind of small, I think it kind of does deserve to be indecent. Now the next one is kind of hard to say because it's kind of a sketchy spot. It's kind of a wasteland. It's kind of just nothing. I'm going to put it in sketchy spot because we have so many in wasteland and I want to be a little bit nicer here. This one being a sketchy spot, it's kind of a decent hangout. It's got 4 benches looking at each other. There's kind of some beautiful areas here with the flowers, and there's a little bit of water there. It's not too far from the gay pool. It's not too far from some rivers and streams and stuff like that. And I think honestly, it's just a beautiful area. I really like it. However, I never go here. I literally never go here, and I don't really have a reason to ever go here because there's so many other places to hang out and sit at. And so it's kind of a sketchy spot. It's not necessarily super decent or like a go-to or like prime territory or anything like that. But there you have it. That is my tier list. There it is, full zoom out. You can see the whole thing now. Boom, there you go. Do you agree with this tier list? Do you agree with it? Let me know in the comments below if you agree with it. And if you do want to check this out for yourself, I will leave a link for it in the description, and you can share your own tier lists and things like that. As a matter of fact, I might actually take a screenshot of this and share it on the Reddit or something like that. It could be fun. But either way, this is what I have for you. I really like my choices. I think there are a couple of areas that were left out, such as the barrel storage and also the other gift pile. I don't know why I'm pretty sure there's 3. Am I going crazy? I'm pretty sure there's 3 gift piles. If there's not, sue me, I guess, but that's also missing. There's probably another spot or 2 that are missing as well, and you could maybe argue that the inside of the bakery is different from the outside of the bakery. Same thing with the library and everything like that. I don't really necessarily agree with that, but you could make those arguments if you want to. Just let me know what you think in the comments below, and if anything else was missing in this tier list, let me know in the comments below as well. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all of those wonderful things like that, because when you do wonderful things like that, not only do you get such wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.